You have to be living under a rock if you haven't heard about the movie Adipurush. It is an Indian film directed and written by Om Raut. It was released on the 16th of June, and in the past 3 days itself, it has dominated headlines, but mostly for the wrong reasons. Now, we want to make it clear we are no film critics, so we are not here to tell you if you should or should not watch the film. But in this cover story on Fineprint, we want to decode what went right and possibly what went wrong with the film and why it has made headlines. Adipurush is the latest in a long list of retellings of the Ramayana. For those of you who are not aware, Ramayana is a Vedic epic from ancient India that narrates the life and journey of Sri Ram, Sita, Lakshman and Ravan. The on-screen retellings of the epic has captivated audiences in the 80s, in the 90s and even in the new millennium. Now, on the surface, as per the best that people understand, it is a tale of good winning over evil. But since its inception, Indians, Nepalis and Sri Lankans have grown up with this epic. It resonates deeply with people from all these nations. Retellings may differ here and there, but the message by and large is clear, that right always conquers wrong. While the movie Adipurush starts and finishes with that intention, there were things in the middle which shocked viewers, to say the least. The makers of the movie did not try to hide their target audience. The director himself said that he wanted to make Ramayana relevant among the young Indians. And critics say this intention can be blatantly seen in parts of the film. Now, in the screenplay, there is an uncanny resemblance of the army of monkeys to what we've seen in the Planet of the Apes. Then demons of the antagonist's army look like they're dementors from the Harry Potter franchise. Critics also pointed out that chariots that were once associated with the Ramayana have been replaced with huge CGI birds. Now, the movie goes so far as to copy the battle scene from the Avengers movie as well. But is it sitting well with Gen Z, who were perhaps the target audience for which this one was made? Well, to put it in a nutshell, it hasn't struck the right chord. The film tried desperately to turn heavy Sanskrit jargon into crass street lingo, but critics say it falls clumsily somewhere in between. But interestingly, and this is where the point of discussion starts, these controversies have done nothing to the movie's box office numbers. Adipurush has stayed firm at the ticket windows. It has already garnered over $40 million worldwide. It's only the second Indian film to earn this much within 3 days this year. For context, it has even breached Shah Rukh Khan's usually popular and Pathan record. There has been special appreciation for the film's soundtrack as well. So much so that critics say that the film would be received better as an audiobook hereafter. Now, an obvious digression that Adipurush makes from earlier retellings of Ramayana is in its design. From the sets to the costumes, the dull grey color palette has been a conscious choice of the filmmakers. If you see other adaptations, more are set in vibrant, colorful and well-lit settings. Now, that is what brings us to our other point. In trying to create a cinematic treat with a modern day feel, the movie has ended up giving more nuance to its villain than its hero. Adipurush has brought an important question to the fore. What is creative liberty and where do you draw the line with it? This question becomes even more relevant for an epic like the Ramayana, which is revered. It is not about a 3-hour film, it is about an age-old historical tale that has been passed on generation after generation. From the 1987 Ramanand Sagar's adaptation of Ramayana to the cartoon versions, the epic has a special place in Hindu culture. And while art is about emotions, slippery slopes do exist for artists. But how far is too far when it comes to art? All right, for more on this controversy, we are being joined by Bhavna Somaya. She is an Indian film critic and a historian. Welcome to the broadcast, ma'am. Ma'am, let's start off right away. What do you feel went wrong with the movie and what all did it get right?
I think, I don't know about what went right. Because when they announced a film on Ramayana, already 50 films are made over the decades in different languages and different genres, in different platforms, and also in like animation and everything. So I don't see the reason why you should make another Ramayana. But if you want to, then obviously it was going to be a very techno-savvy, modern film of 3D effects. So maybe that went right. casting Prabhas and casting Kriti Sanon went right. What went wrong, in my opinion, is perhaps the intention or the attitude, because it comes across as a very dishonest film. तान झाम पर इतना ध्यान दिया गया है कि कंटेंट पर ध्यान नहीं दिया गया है. There is a disclaimer that says that this is not based on Valmiki's Ramayana. Yes, it's obviously not at all like Valmiki's Ramayana. But I think where they really went wrong is that they concentrated so hard on the special effects, on the thrilling adventure scenes and the action sequences. It goes on and on and on that they forgot the soul of the film. I don't feel any bhakti, any devotion in the film. There is no emotion in the film. There is no soul to the film. And the production design, the costume, the language, that is the worst thing. The language, the dialogues. You are so confused that about which era are they talking about? I mean, who says things like अपनी बुआ के बगीचा में तुम टहल रहे हो या बुआ के बगीचा में तुम आए हुए हो? And when does Hanuman speak the language that their Hanuman projects? Ravan lived in Sone ki Lanka, and Saif Ali Khan's Lanka looks like a Bhutia Mahal. It's black. Everybody, all the characters of the people in his army, they wear like that sci-fi costumes.
Right.
It's very sad. I'm very saddened by it. Because see, what happens is, sorry, yeah, go ahead.
I also wanted to take this up with you. Now, the tickets are still selling. Is there a concern here that while several people, especially the younger age group, when they go and watch a movie like this, which is based on non-factual creative liberties which have been taken, and they come back with these impressions of something that they still consider connected to the Ramayana?
Tickets are selling, good for them, because they have invested so much money that they'll have to recover the losses. As film critics, you know, it's not like we are celebrating somebody's failure. We feel very bad when they don't give a good film or when they don't deliver. But what the youngsters are thinking is not my concern so much, as because the youngsters should do a little homework and then go for a film so that they know what is right and what is wrong.
Right.
But look at the colossal loss of money. So much money has been wasted, number one. Number two, I think it is so unfair that you are not researching the era and you are just making your own writing. I mean, we have never heard in the past, in the 50s, in the 60s, in the 70s, or even in the 80s, that a writer has to rewrite the dialogues because the audience is upset.
Right.
And
so, ma'am, when an audience goes and watches a movie like this, they should just think that they're going to watch a sci-fi movie, or should they have anything else in mind when they're going?
I would want my audience, the young generation friends, to be far more responsible. And before they go for a film, I would like them to read some reviews, find out what they are saying. And after that, if they still want to see it for an entertainment effect, yes, go for it. And understand the criticism that is levied on the filmmaker or on the film.
Absolutely. Thank you for all your inputs, all your thoughts, ma'am. That was Bhavna Sumaya, who joins us.
I want to say one more thing, if you allow me, and if there is a
yes,
second.
please.
See, you know, I think what is happening is that all the filmmakers, the writers, in their need to be secretive and thinking that they are coming up with something so genius and marvelous, are not sharing it with a group of people. In the olden days, a Bimal Roy and a B.R. Chopra would share their scripts and ask the other filmmaker if he's making a certain mistake so that it can be rectified. A Raj Kapoor would hold the screening of his film for his domestic staff, for his professional staff, and for all the lady friends of his wife, so that he's taking the feedback of everybody before he does the final editing. Today, they don't even show it to their own team or even to the unit that they are working.
So perhaps a
They're
larger
so
audience that they could have
confident
shown
in
it to
everything.
before airing it, it would have given him a better understanding of what's in store when the film is finally launched. They
Yes,
clearly
and I think
don't.
there should be a lesson for everybody that they must show films to at least
Right.
some people.
Thank you for all your updates, ma'am. We're really running short of time. We will need to move on, but thank you for joining in. We'd like to talk to you further for more movies that come in.